welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Hannah, and today's video, as you can see from the title, is going to be a really handy one. Now, I get a lot of messages on my Instagram, so if you're not following my Instagram is at hanstluce. I get a lot of questions about my engagement, about how I'm gaining so many followers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not an influencer. Like, I can influence people about my content and makeup and things like that, but I'm not an influencer. I don't get paid off of Instagram or anything like that. I'm not a pro, but I have learned a few tips and tricks I can throw around and let you guys know of how to basically increase your engagement on Instagram, especially. Reason being because Instagram has completely changed their algorithm, so I thought, why not do a video basically on that, my tips and tricks. Now, I have grown a massive following in the past month or two. I have gained at least nearly 5,000 followers in the past month or 2 months. I've completely revamped my Instagram. I've learned tips and tricks and things like that, so it is really handy, and I thought, why not? So if you want to see how you can increase your engagement, don't get me wrong, I'm not a professional. I can't say that every tip that I'm going to give you may work for you, but hopefully it will, because it works for me. So if you want to see any tips and tricks, then just keep watching. First of all, I just wanted to say, I want to put a bit of a disclaimer out there. I'm not a professional. I know what I'm talking about, but I don't really know what I'm talking about. And you've got to take my information with a pinch of salt, because I don't want everything that you've said and nothing's worked. I'm sorry it's not worked. It just depends on your account and what you want to establish for yourself. So, I just want to say also, I know there's going to be a few people that are going to watch this, and it's the same people that do the same thing and it just not get anywhere. Let's say, for example, when Instagram first started out, I got Instagram and I gained a very high following. It was, well, high at the time. I had between 10 to 20k followers, I think it was maybe around something like that. I can't correct me that well. And I was about 13 at that time, 13, 14. And I got rid of that Instagram because I didn't want it. It was for the wrong purposes. It was, at that time, a lot of you remember people were just doing shout outs and shout outs and shout outs. So people would just shout out an account and be like, oh yeah, follow this person or this, that and the other. And there wasn't any Instagram story, so people would just tend to follow. Your Instagram likes would increase. You wouldn't really you get an authentic following, but it wouldn't be authentic in a sense of people tapped because they liked your content. People tapped and followed you because they liked the way you looked, or things like that, or something like that. People at that time didn't establish a niche. About 3-4 years ago at the time, Instagram wasn't used for business purposes, marketing, makeup, things like that. So it was very much just like Facebook, it's just a family thing and whatnot. But over the times, it has become a lot more business orientated. So this whole, I'm just gonna say it out there, and I'm gonna shoot it out there. A lot of people are not gonna like this, but I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be completely honest. This whole follow for follow, shout out for shout out, like for like, it's a bunch of BS. Don't do it, because for people that actually really want to establish a business, it's just not going to work for you, honey. It really isn't going to work for you. It hasn't. I used to do it years ago. Don't get me wrong. I used to do it years ago when Instagram had that time where people was following and like for like, and used to use the hashtags and so forth. But these days, it does not work. It will not increase your following at all. If there's some people that like it does, then hit me up and tell me your secrets. But it doesn't. This whole comment on, so for example, I tried to take my Instagram as very much a business, very much an influencer platform where people can like my content. If they like what they see, they can be inspired by my looks and things like that. Creativity, I learn off of people, people learn off of me, etc, etc. So when you comment on people's posts, right, this does my head in. I'm sorry, because if you're one of these people, you need to stop this. If you comment on people's posts saying, oh, I'm a new, don't get me wrong, I understand it is a struggle. This is why I'm gonna help you make sure your engagement goes up, even if it's by like 5% or 10%, it will continue to increase. But I'm telling you now, stop doing this, right? Stop commenting on, so for example, some influencers and some makeup artists and some content creators, fashion bloggers, skincare bloggers, all of these, right? They put hours and hours and hours and hours of time a week into content. Right? They have their own lives. Loads of them have children. Loads of them, we all have families. We all have other things to do. Loads of them are working. Loads of them are studying. All of these things. And they put so much time into their content and they get a nice engagement with that. And then there's people that feel that they can come into the post, and don't get me wrong, I understand, because it's difficult. They go onto a post and be like, oh, I'm a new aspiring MUA or influencer, please check out my stuff. basically advertising yourself on their post. I don't think that's right. I think if you was to maybe message and say, oh, I really love your content, and I get this as well, people say, oh, I really love your content, you're so amazing, then they'll send the message and be like, oh, can I get a follow? And it's like, that's not how it works. Go messaging all these influencers. I don't get messaging all these brands saying, can you follow me? Can you follow me? Can you follow me? No, it doesn't work like that. Now, years ago, maybe, yeah, but you need to learn that this is hard work. Like, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, do this, do that, do this, and it's going to be easy for you. I spend hours per week on Instagram. Instagram for me is I want it to be a career. Do you know what I mean? I invest my money into this. I invest in makeup every single day. I invest my time every single day. I don't work because I do this. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks, but I just need to make it clear that this whole, please follow me, comment in and advertising yourself on posts, just stop. Just stop. I understand if you was to show support and people want to follow you back and so forth, then that's how you're going to do it. But don't do the old times. Don't be back in the old days where people were just begging for followers and things like that. Wouldn't you want an authentic following? You would want an authentic following. So that's just, look, people are going to dislike for this. I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest. I mean, this is going to be technical stuff at which you guys might need to just like pause and go over and whatnot, but you guys know about the Instagram algorithm. It changes regularly. I have noticed that it has changed regularly. Now, I get an average between 1,500 likes to about 4,000 likes. So anywhere between that range, I get around those sort of likes, especially on the type of pictures that I post. Now, when the algorithms change, I visually see it. So in a sense of less people see my story. With my content, its reach and impressions drops dramatically, and the likes that I get are ranged around, don't get me wrong, it's still good, but it can be anything between 900 to maybe 1,200 likes. Don't get me wrong, I'm really, really grateful for that, but for anyone at any platform, it can be quite disheartening. I understand that. Now, these days, don't make it about numbers. It is not about numbers. Reason why I say that is because thousands of other people can see your content but don't have to follow you. So don't worry about your, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a certain following base because then brands will sort of think, oh, okay, she's got a small, reliable fan base, supporter base, follower base, etc. However, for you personally, just focus on how far your content gets out. Now, I'm going to go from the algorithm. So from the algorithm, Instagram had basically said, if you don't post up to 4 to 5 times a day, your posts are not really going to be seen. So it's a lot, don't get me wrong, I only post 2 times a day. I had to increase that, and I've noticed if you increase the amount of times you post a day, you increase your engagement. Now that is hard, don't get me wrong, it is hard, but I'm going to show you some little tips and tricks of how to get like that. So yeah, they said 4 to 5 posts a day. I don't think it's 4 to 5 posts a day. I just think it's 2 to 3 maybe posts a day. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the reason why they've done that is good and bad. I think it's bad because there's so many people that need to that want to be an aspiring this, that and the other, but just don't have the time. And I understand that. They want to be fashion bloggers. They want to be MUAs. They want to be influencers. And it's just, it takes a lot of time. Like, this takes a lot of time. However, I think it's good because it sort of separates the hardworking from the ones that think it's a freebie, in a sense, in terms of it really highlights, like, this is a career. This isn't going to be, people like see lavish lives of like Jeffree Star and all of these people. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with them. Like these lavish lives and and all of that. But you don't realise what goes on behind the scenes. Sorry, there's a plane going by. The amount of hard work that goes in to Instagram is a lot. Think about it. A look can take anywhere between an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours. Then you've got to do the rest of your face. Then you've got to take a picture. And then you've got to edit it, post it, engage with your people, engage with your followers, all of that jazz. It takes a lot of time. It's not something you can just be like, oh, okay, I want to do a look today, and then leave it for 5-6 days and then do another look. Okay, so I've talked about that. I'm going to go into one main point. you need to be able to consistently post. Like I've just spoken about that section already. You need to consistently post. If you're not consistently posting, and when I mean consistently posting, it could be one a day, it could be 1 or 2 every 2 days, or it could be 3-4 posts a week, or 4 posts a week. That's fine. I do twice a day. I learned that from Tweely. I do 2 posts a day. I'm hoping to bring up to 3, but I don't want to bombard my people with content. I'm able to do that because I've got a lot of time like spare. But try to make sure you can plan a routine, because as long as you have a routine, your followers will know that you've got a routine. So for example, instead of like with YouTube, you know you've got a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Thursday and Wednesday, or who, what, and where, what. You know when you're going to post, so your followers and your supporters will know when you're going to post, so they can look forward to it. So consistently post. Like honestly, if you're not going to consistently post and you're doing once a month or twice every 2 weeks, not gonna work like that. It does not work like that. It's like when you write a book, you have to consistently be writing that book or finding advice from people. You can't just be writing a word every month. It doesn't work like that. So consistently post, and that ties in with algorithm. Now I want to give you some advice. Now on the new settings of Instagram, you have something called insights. So if you go onto a page and you'll find insights, so it has, I think it has audience, content, and something else. There's 3 little sections. So it shows you like the percentage of women to men that view your content, shows you where your countries that view your content, it shows you the amount of impressions and your reach, so the amount of unique accounts that see your account, and the amount of impressions, so the amount of people that have seen your post altogether. I have around 500,000, which I'm quite like, well, I've got like 500,000 impressions, so 500,000 people have seen all of my posts. It's a lot, like don't get me wrong. And you've also got a section where it talks about the times of days that people are active. So if you can scroll down and find that, I can't remember exactly where it is, but if you go and find that section, and it will have a little bar chart, and it will have a section where it has all the times of the day, and the biggest bars, obviously the highest ones, are normally around, if you're in the UK, it's normally around 6 PM and 9 PM. 6 PM and 9 PM are the 2 best times to post. Those are the 2 posts those are the 2 times that I post. So from 6 o'clock, the UK time, that's when it's most popular because it goes into evening. Now at 9 o'clock, it's also where a lot of people are on Instagram, but a lot of people in the United States and other parts of the world that have a different time zone, 9 o'clock is very good because you'll get a short hour at 9 o'clock where it'll be very, very good. And then your content will get a lot of likes, and then around 10, 11, it will start to like go down a little bit. But while you're sleeping, you don't realize that people are still on Instagram around the world. They will like your picture. I can go to bed with about 1,000 likes and wake up with 4,000, like 3,000 people have seen my content because I post at 6 PM and I post at 9 PM. I would say to you, to be able to get maximum, your better post, obviously you want 2 posts to be amazing, but your better post, you post at 6 PM, and your not better post, but good enough post, you post at 9 PM. It's just so, or you know what, you don't even need to do 6 PM and 9 PM. If you just look at your chart and see what posts are doing better at what times, or what followers of yours are more active at what times, post between those 2 times. If you're going to post twice, then post twice. If you want to post 3 times, find the 3 best times. Normally it's 3 PM, 6 PM and 9 PM. Make sure they've got hours between them, so there's time for people to just see your content and not be like, oh yeah. If you're just going to post 3 posts in a row, if it's normal like the same sort of like look, it might get a bit distracted because people will see that look and think, okay, see 3 other pictures and they're very similar, and you'll be like, oh, did I just like this one or not? So it's good to have time between them, basically. People talk about this, but a lot of people do not use them at all. Hashtags. Honestly, I can't stress hashtags enough. Now I know with the algorithm now, before you used to have as many hashtags as you want, but because of the algorithm now you can only have 30 hashtags. Make those 30 count. Use those hashtags. There's no one's got a problem with hashtags. I'm telling you now, if you go into your insights and your impressions, you'll find that the most people see your stuff from hashtags. The most people see your stuff from hashtags. It's not your own following base, more likely. It is hashtags. That's where you'll grow a following. That is where your content will be seen and where your content will be liked. You want to do hashtags, so such as, so for example, if you are doing a Huda Beauty look, you put Huda Beauty, hashtag Huda Beauty. You don't want to do the ones that have so many, like has been used so much, because your your post just gets thrown into an ocean and only so many people can see it. But if you're very distinct, so for example, if you're using the new, so today I used the new Huda Beauty Obsessions palette, the Topaz one. If I use this and I put in, instead of Huda Beauty, don't get me wrong, you put Huda Beauty, so you've got 29 left, you put Huda Beauty Precious Obsessions or Huda Beauty Obsessions, and you'll find that sorry, you'll find that like there's 1 million for Huda Beauty, but there are only 50,000 for the Obsessions palette. That means you're more likely to be seen than if you just use the Huda Beauty one. Same thing for Anastasia Beverly Hills. The typical ones are Anastasia Beverly Hills, Anastasia Brows, ABH. You want to make it a little bit more specific, because brands, honestly, they go and they find and they just look around and they're like, okay, cool. They're not going to search through millions of posts. They're going to want, okay, cool, dip brow or dip brow pomade or dip brow dark brown. And they search and they're like, oh, I like that post. Let me repost it or let me like it. And it will all increase your engagement. So use hashtags, people. Don't use the hashtags of follow for follow and S for S and like for like. No, 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 no. Keep it to you. So if it's a skincare post, put a skincare, put clear skin or put something like that. Make sure you put in hashtags, because then people will be able to see your content. The more hashtags, I would say, honestly, use 30. I use 30. Try to use 30. If you want some hashtag ideas, please just send me a message and I'll be able to like help you. I don't know if I'll be able to, but yeah. So the next thing this one is quite difficult for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't really understand what it means. You want to find your niche. So you want to find what it is that you want to do on Instagram. So for me, it's beauty and lifestyle. Now, lifestyle more on my stories, beauty more on my Instagram content. So beauty for me is makeup, skincare, health, hair, all of that. I do more of the makeup side because I'm more creative like that. However, I try to make sure that every now and then I mix it up, so it's not just too, like, you know. But yeah, so you want to find your niche. Are you a fashion blogger? So if you're a fashion blogger, you're gonna want, fashion bloggers are like bomb at the moment in terms of a lot of people. There's a lot of hashtags available. There's a lot of people out there that do fashion stuff. Fashion is high on YouTube as well. So if you have a fashion Instagram, you're gonna want to do a YouTube where you do, because you're a fashion blogger, you tend to buy clothes, right? So instead of doing a makeup haul, do a clothing haul, and those clothing hauls do extremely well. I'm so sorry for the noises in the background. Clothing hauls do so well on Instagram, YouTube and Instagram. You could, maybe for example, you could do a YouTube video of a try on haul and then go out, try all the outfits on with nice lighting, a nice background, a nice photographer, or your own, like you can have your boyfriend or your brother or your sister or your mum or your dad taking pictures of you. Edit it really nicely. You don't need to edit it too much because you guys are all beautiful and amazing, but you want to make sure your content is crisp and beautiful. Edit it if you need to. You might not need to. You might just be like, yeah, I'm feeling myself, so forth, and post it and put the hashtags and consistently do that. You'll get somewhere. Honestly, it's not difficult. Like, I know it sucks that like Instagram changes up so much, but what you have to do is you have to investigate your own Instagram. You have to investigate what times people watch your stuff. I know it's a lot, don't get me wrong, I know it's a lot, but I sat down one day and I looked at my content and I was like, okay, what hashtags are not working? What hashtags are working? I was looking at the times that people are on and off. So you should be able to get comfort and actually investigate your own Instagram. Now, I do want to pinpoint, sometimes if you use the same 30 hashtags for like, I don't know whether it's 10 posts or 8 posts or whatnot, your post will be shadow banned, meaning it wouldn't have gone into any Instagram like hashtag feed. So basically you need to change up your hashtags. It means shadow bans. It means any hashtag that you use, you will not participate in that hashtag feed. It's very annoying. Instagram, I don't know why you've done all of this. I can understand maybe lowering the engagement so only certain people whatnot, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, establishing your niche. You need to know what you want to do on Instagram. You can't, I'll be honest, you can't just like go from, some people can, depending on the following that you have. If you have quite a high following, you're able to switch up a lot. If you have quite a low following, you want to stick to something first. So right now I stick to beauty. For someone who might do beauty, might like a little fashion post every now and then, but you can incorporate beauty and fashion. So you can have a little fashion post where you're on your bed and you're like posing, and then you've got like, but you highlight the makeup stuff. It's intertwined. You can still tag like Misguided or Boohoo or Primark. Pretty Little Thing, all of that jazz. And you'll be able to mix and match. So just make sure you know what you're doing, investigate your Instagram, and you will be fine. Now, next one is, like, I'm sorry, a lot of people are not gonna like this because they're like, oh, but I've got so much stuff to do, this, that. I know life is a drag. There's so much. You've got children, you've got a life to live, you've got a family to look after, you've got money to make, you've got all of this, you've got a house to look after, all of it. I understand. I completely understand. Some people are studying, they don't have the time. You need to be active. You need to be active. I try now to apply to every... Instagram's got this new thing as well, where as someone likes your post, or like they comment, you can like it and comment straight away, like reply back, which I find is really handy because I tend to like either completely forget, not in a bad way, I completely forget because I've got other stuff on. So be active. You need to be active. You need to be not constantly on the story. You need to be watching other people's stories. You need to be liking and researching your own content. You need to be going through hashtag feeds. It sounds a lot, but really it isn't, because you do that anyway. A lot of people spend a lot of hours on Instagram, but just you need to know how to do it the right way. So go onto Instagram, like hashtag feeds, and like find inspirational posts and like them and be like, oh my God, this looks beautiful, or that looks beautiful. I really want to try that. Try a look, find it, and then yeah, like post it or whatnot. Yeah, you got to make sure you reply to comments, comment on people's stuff. Even if it means you interact with people, give them a DM, send them a message. If someone interact with their story, so forth. I don't do that a lot because I'm like, oh God, I don't want to pester them. But people do it with me, and I'm like, yeah, I love people to message me, but I just feel if I message someone, I'm gonna pester them. But yeah, so if you want to message me, just message me, like, it's fine. But yeah, so you want to be active, people. Now I know this is probably going to be the hardest one, as well as the like consistent content, because I know a lot of people have got busy lives. So it's just an option. You don't have to be active 24/7. No one said to spend 24 hours on Instagram. Maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're active. Now, to intertwine with the niche and activity, for example, with my posts, I do one eye look, so I'll do an eye shot. I'll do either a full face or a makeup video. Makeup, so people with beauty, I'm targeting right at you beauty people right now. Makeup videos do very, very well. Pictorials do very, very well. If I was to just post an eye picture, you'll probably get maybe about 1,000 likes. But if I post a pictorial showing you guys how to create that look, because I want to show you guys how to do that, or because it's not saying it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Like, anyone could do it. You guys, makeup artists, makeup enthusiasts, little kids, you guys can do it. If I can do it and I'm not creative at all, then you can do it. So yeah, I do an eye shot, and the pictorials do very, very well. So you want to make sure you can establish, as well as your niche, what you want to be able to establish on Instagram. You need to be able to understand what parts of your content do the best. Is it a fashion post? Is it a foot post? Is it a nail post? Is it an eyeshadow post? Is it a lip post? Lip posts do really, really well as well. It's an eyelashes, or is it a product post? It depends on your following. It depends on your hashtags. It all depends on what you do and how you do it. Now, lastly, I'm going to be completely honest, you need a variety of content. What will help is having a YouTube or having a Twitter or things like that. Twitter is normally a platform where you can get a lot more of a following and an engagement with brands. However, we're just focusing on Instagram here. You have to have a variety of content. Like, for example, with me, I have makeup videos and I have eyeshadow posts and maybe a full face. I mix it up sometimes. Sometimes I do 3 days where I just do full faces, or I do a makeup video. Now, what I will say, it's because I do 2 posts a day, it's a lot easier for me because I know the routine anyway. But if you only do 1 post a day, maybe do an eye shot. You don't have to do full face. You just need to maybe put a little bit of eyeshadow on, do your eyeshadow, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, or if you don't wear eyelashes, just mascara, or however you like it. Put a little bit of foundation and cut it off maybe around the nose. Do a little bit of highlight and a little bit of bronzer, and just take a picture like that, and you can cut off the nose bit and whatnot. You can then rotate and edit and crop the picture, and you'll have an eye look. You don't need to put tons of makeup on. Eyeshadow will probably take the longest, but you literally just need to put a bit of foundation on. If you want to, you can just blow your skin, or however you guys edit your stuff, and you'll be done for. It takes maybe 20, half an hour, then you'll be sorted. So that's all I can actually give you right now. Please, because this was a whole Instagram post, please feel free to just follow my Instagram. It's at hanstluce, so Hannah Sent Loose, but just without the NA, without the NA. So you've got the hand and the NA, so Hannah. yeah, just hand scent loose. It's going to be in the description anyway. Most of you are following me on Instagram anyway, but if you're not and you just come here to see my engagement video, then please feel free to just follow my Instagram. If you did enjoy this post and you found this very informative, then I would love if you could leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on when I post. I love all of you guys, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.